Pep, welcome back. Looking very well. I think you can probably guess where we're starting, but the transfer window closes in 6 days' time. How much business are you expecting this club to do before it does?
Few. Good morning to everyone. I didn't miss you, but I miss you.
When you say few, what does that mean?
No, I miss you a lot. You know that. A few. Few.
And maybe outs?
A few in and out, yeah.
While you've been away, there's been a lot of speculation about Leroy Sane and whether he wants to stay or go. Is it down to the player whether he wants to stay here?
So you were not in China, so I just answered many times this question. So I'm not aware about the rumours. So I know they exist. So I said many times. So I want the players who want to stay, because it's impossible for me as a manager, as a club, convince one player to do what we want to do and his head is away from here. But the player didn't tell me anything, and no players that we have now didn't tell me anything they want to leave. So that is the only reality I have. So if they knock the door and tell me I want to leave, okay. After I said, okay, we're going to speak with the clubs, but nobody tell me that. So that's why it's our player, it's my player, and we want to stay here because we try to extend the contract, and for more than 1 year, and we were quite close months ago, and now it's a little bit different, but that is the reality. I cannot say anymore. The same I answered in China, so that is where it is.
The transfer window here in England closes before some of the windows in Europe. Does that make your job more difficult, and will you consider selling a player after the window is closed?
No, it's easier. I like to finish. I think in England, in many things, is they are leading in many aspects the way you have to do. For the managers, for the clubs, is perfect. When I start the season, the transfer window is over. So hopefully in the rest of Europe is going to follow what in England start, and I think it's the best. So when before the first game from the Premier League, you know exactly in which players you are going to play the rest of the season until transfer window in December. Yeah.
Pep, Simon Stone, BBC. Earlier this week, Jurgen Klopp made a comment about the lack of spending from Liverpool and said that his club is not in a position like other clubs, meaning Manchester City and possibly Real Madrid, Barcelona and PSG, that they can carry on spending. Are you bothered about other managers saying that? And also, does it concern you that almost everything that Manchester City does comes with people saying, yeah, but they only do it because of the money?
Yeah, that's true. If it bothers me, of course it bothers me, because it's not true. We spend 200 million every transfer market. That is not true. So it's Liverpool. You never walk alone. So it's not a small team. It's Liverpool. So of course I don't like it because it's not true. Because last season we spent 17 in just one player. So when I said 2 seasons ago when I spent a lot, it's because I took over the team again 10, 11 players more than 30 years. You have to do it. But we cannot spend 200 millions every season. Like, for example, Liverpool has spent more than 200 millions last season and cannot do it this season, but it's the same. So we bought one player this season, and Angelino will make a payback clause, so come back with us, and that is the reality. So today the clubs cannot spend every single season a lot of money. And another point, what happened Barcelona, Madrid, to the other clubs, I don't know, because I am not there about the money, is about they can spend. If they think they can do it, it's because they can do it. I don't know. That's why the financial fair play, when something is wrong, the clubs is not correct, will be punished. So that is a reality. But also I'm not in the comments for the other managers or other colleagues, because they say what they want to say. Only I can say that is not true.
And in terms of your team, you won everything in English football last year. Do you feel as though your team is in a better position now than it was last year? Because it's hard to imagine how you can improve on winning everything.
I don't understand the question. In fact, we are in better position for the reason we won last season.
Well, you won you always try and evolve the squad. You always try to improve. You talk about improving all the time.
Yeah.
Do you think you are capable of improving on last year? Because last year you won every trophy.
Well, we won almost every trophy, not all of them, but yeah, it was quite remarkable what we have done. Not enough to have our players and the best players in Europe, but it's quite good. Of course, we know each other better than the first season. So now we start in the pre-season. When we talk about what we're going to do, the players, they know it, so it's easier for our job. But start from zero, start again. Our rivals will be stronger, all of them. But we are ready to accept the challenge, to be in there until the end.
Pep, Don McGuinness, TalkSport. In terms of the challenge, it starts this weekend. In terms of the players that have been away, the South Americans, Mahrez, what kind of a team are we likely to see this weekend? Will they all be available? Who's going to be available? Who's back? Everything else?
Well, except Fernandinho, everybody's back. Today arrived last two, Eddie and Riyad. And 2 days ago arrived Sergio and Gabriel. And maybe someone else, I don't know. No, Riyad today. So, yeah, normally we have 2 more substitutes, and I think we'll be hot in London. The physical condition still is not in the best, but we are going to try to play with the players to play more minutes, in this pre-season, because they are more rhythm and they are more normal situation in the place. The guys who came back later, like these names I said before, so maybe they have few minutes, from the last minutes, but we have more chances for the substitutions.
At the end of the season, obviously, you said farewell to Vincent Kompany. Through pre-season and now as you start the new campaign, have you identified the man that can be that voice, that can be anything like a Vincent Kompany, if you like, or have you seen other players step up? Have you decided the full-on captain now for the new season?
Well, when Fernandinho's coming back after the next week, they are going to decide who will be the captains.
So you need Fernandinho to be back before you decide. Would it be him then, presumably?
No, I want to be all together. To choose the captain, they have to choose it and be all together.
Hi, Pep. Paul Hurst from The Times. You met Jurgen twice in the German equivalent of this competition, or this trophy. What do you remember from those occasions, and how does that German Super Cup kind of compare to how we look at the Community Shield here? Well,
we played 2 times, and always in Dortmund away, because in Germany, when you win the league and the cup, instead to play at home on a neutral stadium, you play in away. In my first season, still time to discover my team, discover the German football, discover the strength points for our opponents, especially Borussia Dortmund in that time. And they beat us easy in this period. After in the league, we beat them easy, but in the Super Cup they beat us.
And do you think we don't look at the Community Shield as the same kind of importance as in Germany or Spain?
Well, I think in Spain, especially in my period there in Germany, they are more enthusiastic. But what the people say in England, the Community Shield is a traditional tournament, and of course they're going to continue for many, many years. So, and it's an honor. So to play that competition means you have to win or the Premier League or the FA Cup. So it's not easy to play that competition, and being there means a lot. So we won both. So that's why I think we deserve to play this competition, this game tomorrow. I think.
Hi, Pep, here. Max Cárdenas for Fox Sports and Radio Cooperativa. How do you evaluate the comeback of Claudio Bravo in these pre-season games?
Well, really impressed. I think he showed his, in fact, for the tempo, the personality, because it's not easy. Age 33, 34, 1 year out, and come back and play in the goalie. That's why I play a lot all minutes in the preseason. Tomorrow is going to play. Day after tomorrow, is going to play. So, and it was good, really good.
And one was very weird for us to don't see Claudio in Copa America with Chile. He's the captain, and you think it's better for him because sometimes the manager don't play this type of in the national team because they want to be in the training with you. Do you think it's better for him to don't go to Copa America to prepare this for this season?
I don't know. So I don't judge my colleagues take a decision. So I don't know. He was completely fit to play the Copa America, Claudio. So it was 1 year. So it was an infection in his operation and took a lot of time to recover, to start to do it and start to training in the last part of the last season, 1 month, 2 months. I didn't know it was have been good to go to the Copa America. The important now is fit and the national team needs him, so he will be ready.
Hey, I'm Kaya from Viasport Norway. Obviously, Jurgen Klopp, one of the only managers who's been able to beat you more times than he's lost. How much do you thrive from that rivalry against Jurgen Klopp, and does he inspire you in any way?
Yeah, many things. I think class manager, top manager. So his teams is identified quite well in Dortmund, playing in quite similar. Yeah, top manager, incredible, so good. It's an incredible challenge for me every time we face his teams, and I think his message always. It's always a positive way in the way he plays. His message always and his behavior and smile and hugging, and I think it's so good for the football. And the message is always in positive way. Well, sometimes some exceptions, but in most of the times it's good.
Thank you.
Hi, Pep. This time last year, you were speaking a lot with us and to the players about complacency and how you didn't want them to slack off after the 100-point season. What's your approach this time around? Do you trust them a bit more to be ready to play, or do you still need to keep on top of them and make sure they are ready to go again?
I will be nicer this season. They convinced me definitely this type of players what they have done last season, so there's no doubts. If we are not able to do it, it's because the opponent was better or we are not good enough, but not about... At the end of the season, I didn't know how could we handle our success, and I think it was incredible. The people are still, but maybe yes, I don't know. So it was incredible what they have done last season after 100 points, and the target is keep improving.
Have you been in this situation before, like at Bayern, maybe going into the third season, you were nicer with the players then? Is that something you normally do if they convince you?
No, I'm a little bit different too. So my third or fourth season in Barcelona, and the season is a little bit different right now here. I'm maybe more calm. I trust more in myself and my players. So it depends. So I'm 48, so I'm not 26. So.
Hi Pep, Dom Farrell from Omnisport. All the time you've been here, when you talk about Bayern, you talk about Bayern Munich being a great club, one of the institutions in European football. Mm. Therefore, I have to ask, have you been surprised or maybe disappointed to see so many people from Bayern talk publicly about Leroy during this summer? No, I'm not disappointed. First, because I know them, most of them, and I know how it works this world. So everybody talks and talks. Also, I talk too much sometimes, and so no, really not. So I know how it works this world. So keep the secrets or don't do it everything for the other one. No offense. I'm pretty sure they don't do it to offend us most of the times. That is what it is. So and nothing else. So the important is we have our player. In that case, Leroy is here and try to be ready to play the season.
Hey Pep, you're talking before about the physical conditions of the players not being quite there yet. When do you expect them to be fully up and running? I don't know, but I think every week will be better. So I think we are able to play in high intensity. Tomorrow we have 5-6 new players in the last minutes or last 30 minutes, so we can play in high intensity level and good level. And I don't know, but I think soon. For the way we're training, for the way I know now, we know exactly better what we have to do, and that helps to be on the pitch better and in the physicality. And I think during this month we're going to take it now. In this month we have 1 game a week, we have long weeks to prepare. I think the preseason start really right now. So it's maybe not sense, but now we have the next 4 games, August month, 1 game a week. So we have a lot of training sessions. The preseason is now. So in China and the States, the preseason is okay. Start to to run, no injuries, because the facilities are not good. And now we start to to fix what we believe we have to fix. And after, during the process, during the games, during the month, we're going to see, we're going good way and bad way. We have to train more in that section, less in that section, and we'll see. And try to win in games in that period.
You kind of mentioned the facilities there when you're away on tour. I know that you kind of understand the commercial demands that the club has, but would you kind of look to say to the club next season,
No, it's not about the commercials. Commercial is few, it's normal, you have to do it. All the clubs, the big clubs do it, so you have to do it. So at the end, the club needs resources, and we have to be able to do that. So the salaries we want come from these positions, you have to do it. It's more the fact for the travel. China is a huge country, and to move you need 2 hours. And especially jet lag, 7-8 hours difference, the people that don't sleep. When you are able, now you can sleep, you have to come back to Manchester and review again the jet lag here. So it's that period, the humidity, you live there, you work there, so you go out and it's almost impossible to training. And that is the problem. So that's why the distance from hotel to stadiums is always long. Arrive there, 23 hours the day after, train 2 hours and go another city, another place. So that is not the best way, but it's what it is. And the clubs, we have to do it, we're going to do it. Here, in the States, in South America, wherever you decide to go. So we have to adapt. Before it was completely different. It was 2-3 weeks, go to Holland or here, just training, just run and make it. Today it's changed. Arrive in 3 days, you play against top teams, and if you don't win, the people start to criticize you, that's a disaster, you have to buy 10 players, you have to send 10 players. And today it's not possible to do that. Even Jurgen Klopp is not agree with me, so you cannot sell 10 players and buy 10 players every season. It's impossible. You have to, to the 85-90% of the players, keep going and convince them to stay longer, because today the transfer market is so expensive.
Hi Pep. Just on Benjamin Mendy, how is he? When
he came back 2-3 days ago, and it's good. Let's try to train on the pitch, not with the team, but hopefully next week can be with us.
James Ducker from the Telegraph. Pep, this is your this is the first time you've gone into a fourth season with a club apart from Barcelona. Obviously, there was huge outside political pressures of managing Barcelona, and I think by the end of that fourth season you said you were shattered and you needed a break. Do you feel going into this season with City a lot more energised for this fourth season than you felt at that time with Barcelona?
He's not comparing. I said many times. First, my hometown. I grew up there. The feelings are a little more intense, different in the state, and the relation with the media, relation with the day by day, the way we're training is completely different. Yeah. Here we are isolated. We work in so comfortable, so no shifty, so and that's why it's nice. So when you win, you are a good manager. When you lose, you are a bad manager everywhere. But there is the relation with the players, managers, media. It's it's higher. Yeah. It's much higher. So here it's much comfortable.
It's helpful because you obviously put so much mentally and physically into the job. This environment is helpful for you.
Yeah, of course.
And just, you mentioned about the players before, about the captaincy. Will you obviously empower a group of senior players. Will you let them choose the captain?
They have to.
Yeah.
I'm not going to choose.
Right.
They have to.
Yeah.
Because when they are not agree with me, they have to come to me, or with the club, or whatever we do. Yeah. They have to.
And you said Sane was close to signing a new contract a month ago, but...
Who, sorry?
You said at the start of the press conference that Sane was close on the contract.
What I said 2-3 weeks ago in relation with Chiqui, it was quite close. Now it's not.
No, it's not. Is there any...
No, I don't have any info. So.
Hi Pep, Mike from BBC Radio Manchester. Football League season obviously starts today. Earlier this week there was a call for Premier League clubs to help out lower league clubs such as Bolton and Bury that are financially stricken at the moment. Do you think that's a good idea? Is that the right way to go?
Yeah, always I like the strong teams or power teams help the other ones, but I don't know what is the average. Bolton and the other team is suffering, but maybe there are many other ones. Which is the line? We help of the conference team, the League One team, or just this one. So I don't know but it's good. I think Bayern Munich is a big example of that. When I was there, I knew that help. Going there with the first team, playing a friendly game, that helps to, make a ticketing game and help to survive this season for this club. So it's nice. I think this country, about the charity, about many things, we do it.
Okay, guys, we're running embargo, please, for Sunday.